In this video, I'm going to show you how to conduct a task analysis. Before we start though, let's remind ourselves as to what a task analysis actually is. It is something that you investigate in a large amount of detail to show all your thoughts and ideas. So this is a skill and a process we use quite frequently within design and technology, and we use it to investigate our projects. So for this video, I'm investigating one of our current projects that we run, and that is called a sustainable amplifier. So this is what I'm going to be analysing, this is what I'm going to be investigating. So I like to start off a task analysis by investigating the key terms. Now I've only got two terms here, however I think they're both equally important, so I'm going to start things off by writing these down as my subheadings. So sustainable, and then here amplifier. You can lay this out in any way you wish. And then just to remind myself that these are my my headings and my key points, I'm just going to highlight them yellow, just to remind me. I'm first of all going to start by adding what I think these words actually mean. So I'm going to go for amplifier first of all. To me, amplifier, it means it magnifies sounds. Magnifies sound. It can use electronics / circuits. Okay. And I'm also going to put that it's, to me, I feel the materials from the amplifiers that I've seen in the past, I think primarily they are polymers, so plastics, and metals. So already I'm just showing an understanding as to what I think an amplifier actually is, just by branching out. And you can see here I've gone from amplifier to material, and then I've branched out further to identify specific materials or specific material categories, so polymers and metals. So this is why I really like to conduct a task analysis using a mind map method, just because you can branch out and fill an entire page with all of your ideas and all of your thoughts. While we're here, I'm also going to add some meanings to the term sustainable, or what I think sustainable means. So to me it means renewable. We've just been covering renewable materials for some of my groups, so for me it means renewable materials. It means creating a low impact on the environment. Actually, renewable materials, I'm just going to add some. I'm thinking of timber. So wood materials, it could also be bamboo. There we go. Sustainable, I'm going to think of recycling as well, because in order to be sustainable, in order to create a low impact, instead of just throwing things in the bin, we want to actually recycle them. And for now I'm just going to leave it there. This is again showing what I think the word sustainable means. So from this point, once you've defined your key terms as far as you can, so as much as you can think of, there are some other things that we need to consider when investigating a project. So traditionally, we need to think about who we're going to be designing and making this product for. So we need to know who our client or our target audience will be. So target audience. We need to think about the aesthetics of the product, so what it's going to look like, any themes, colours, etc. We need to think about the function. There we go. And we also need to consider what materials we have to work with. Now there are loads of other possibilities and things that we can consider for our task analysis, but these are just the things that I'm going to start with. I can add more later on, and again, just to show that these are my subheadings, so these are my key topics that I'm analysing at the moment, I am just going to highlight those yellow. The next branch I'm going to analyse is target audience. So when you're given a project, you might immediately have an idea as to who you want to make your product for. I knew, for example, that I want to make my product for young adults, and I'm going to aim that at 18 to, what's a young adult age? I'm going to say 30 year olds. Alright, So that's who I'm going to aim my sustainable amplifier to. However, I'm not just going to leave that there and end it. I'm going to show that I've thought of other people that I can aim my product to. So for example, young people. So to me, that's teenagers. Teenagers are students. And again, I could just keep branching out with all the other possibilities. I could even pick specific careers. So for example, teachers, because why not? I'm in education. I could maybe think of a specific career as, I'm going to go for vet, just because it popped in my head. So, and then you can expand on maybe what they would like to see in an amplifier. Again, this is why I like a mind map. You can expand on all your ideas to show your thoughts. And then you just keep going until you run out of ideas, really. So like I said, you could start thinking about what they would want the amplifier to look like, maybe what they would need it to be, so sustainable perhaps, or a specific price, so need, low price. And at the moment, all of this is assumption. You're just taking a logical guess. This is just your opinion, and that's not wrong. This is the right way to start, and then eventually you can go off and you can start to research some of these specific elements. So I'm going to stop there with target audience. I'm going to briefly discuss materials. So when we're talking about materials, you need to consider what materials you have available. So the materials you can actually access and you can actually use to manufacture a product. You can think about the different types or categories. So again, timbers, metals, polymers. And you can just start stating what these are. So for example, if I state I've got available to me, I've got timber. I know I've got a lot of timber at school that I can use. From here, I can then start to state specific timbers that I have. Actually, I'm going to put timber / manufactured board, because we've also got a lot of that. There we go. And I can start naming specific things. So I know for a fact that we have pine that I could use at school. I know that we've got oak, both of which are a sustainable material. In regards to manufactured board, we have plywood, and I do like plywood. It's really good. It's strong. So I can then expand this to say it's strong. Oak, I think it's got a close grain, and it's traditionally darker in colour. Pine is quite cream, so cream colour. So here I'm actually showing my subject knowledge. I'm showing that I've got technical knowledge about specific materials that I could work with. I'm going to move on now. Function. Traditionally, you'd have lots of different possibilities depending on the products that you're aiming for. I know that I'm making an amplifier, and I know that the main function is here, it's to magnify sound. I've already mentioned that, that's fine. So what I can also think about is other functions, such as making it decorative, as well as practical. And I can start to branch out on these ideas also. So perhaps I could make it multi-purpose. So I know it's got to be an amplifier, but maybe I can give it an additional job. Maybe I could also make it a amplifier plus pen pot. 2 jobs. I like that. That could also link to sustainability because it gives it more purpose. It means that it might last a little bit longer. Once the amplifier element maybe doesn't work, the pen pot would still work, or vice versa. So linking back to sustainable, so I could put here long lifespan. And then again branch out, multiple functions. So although I've kind of gone around, you can always go back to add to any previous branch, any at all. You're never limited. It's not just one after the other. It's not linear. It's iterative. You can always go back to make any amendments, add anything, take things away, etc. And then finally, the thing that I'm going to analyse for my sustainable amplifier is aesthetics. So this relates to the appearance, so that could be shape, it could be a theme / style, it could be colour, and again, I can just start thinking about what I would like to see in an amplifier, because at the moment I might not have a clear idea as to what young adults might want to see in an amplifier. So I'm just going to start suggesting my own ideas. So in regards to colours, I'm going to go for pastels, because why not? But also neon. I like the combination there. I like the contrast. Shape, maybe I could go for geometric. Pattern, theme and style, I could put pattern. And then here as well, we could also, as you continue to branch out, you could start to maybe add some little doodles to help suggest what these could look like. So I'm going to do some oval patterns. Why not? There you go. So I'm just adding a couple little illustrations. You can do that as well. So what I've produced here, this is just the start. I can then continue to go off to branch off. I could add some other subheadings, other considerations, such as location. So where could this amplifier live? I could also add manufacture. How am I going to make it? What could I use? So I could add these and then expand on them later on. And if for some reason I'm getting a little bit too tight and I'm running out of space, I can just go and work out on the sides. As long as I use my highlighter to show that these are my subheadings, these are my main considerations. So for example, all the way over here, I'm going to write down randomly, I'm just going to write down location again, just to prove a point. And because I'm highlighting yellow, this shows that this is one of my key factors that I'm actually focusing on. So that is how we work with a mind map. That's how we, a task analysis in the form of a mind map. Remember, everything you think of, all your ideas need to go down on the page. Doesn't matter if it starts to look cluttered, because later on, what you can do is as you start to narrow down your ideas and you start to think, actually, yeah, I am going to make it for young adults. I do want it to have multiple functions. I am going to use geometric patterns. And I'm going to make sure that it's decorative as well as practical. You can highlight all of those key considerations, the things that you're then going to go off and look at or research in more detail. So, I really hope you found that useful. Please do watch again if you need to, and happy analysing.